NATO has been around for just over 70 years now. We were founded because our members said, we really want to safeguard freedom and security. Peace is important to us, and that hasn't changed. NATO is still important because all of its members come together around this idea that peace is important and that we can do better by working together. NATO has been evolving pretty much since its birth. The reality is that the security situation today is so dynamic, and NATO is really invested in making sure that we're aware of the threats and that we have the right capabilities to deal with them. So we're looking at both conventional threats, hybrid, where you start to see things that are happening beneath the level of declared conflict, also things to do with cyber and disinformation. These are challenges that we're facing every day. Beyond that, we're also dealing with terrorism. Terrorism is a challenge that affects us all. And so we're looking at all of these challenges and adapting so that we're well prepared to deal with them today and into the future. I think there are a tremendous number of opportunities. Part of what NATO does in working together, both among our allies, we're 29, soon to be 30, North Macedonia should be joining very soon, but then also working with partners around the world. What we're doing is helping improve security, increase stability, and in developing these relationships, I think there's a tremendous amount of positive feeling to be had. If you take, for example, the work that we're doing with partners on human security, if we look at women, peace, and security and how we're thinking through those issues, what role do women play? How can we make sure they're included? That's an incredibly positive story, but not only is it a nice story, but it helps us to be more effective. We actually increase security. We increase our effectiveness as an alliance and more broadly by looking at these issues in depth and working together. It's broad, and we had a wide-ranging conversation. We talked about everything from the evolution, how did NATO get from where it started back in 1949 to the situation we see today, the very different threats that we face. So we talked through some of those issues. We also talked about some of NATO's ongoing missions and operations and activities. We talked a bit about Iraq, the training mission that NATO has undertaken there, how that might expand over time, and what more we can do to help Iraq so it can be secure against the threat of terrorists like those we saw with Daesh. We also talked about Afghanistan, the training mission that we have there, and the prospects for Afghanistan's future and their prosperity. So we talked through some of those issues more on the operational side. We also talked about NATO and how it works, what consensus means, how that can be challenging, but how that also provides a great deal of credibility. We talked about cohesion within the alliance, and we talked about burden sharing. What are countries doing to invest to make sure that they're prepared to contribute to their own security?